Well, even in my addle-pated drug haze from this biopsy I had this afternoon, this movie Infiltrator is pretty damn good. And there's a scene where the hero, Bryan Cranston, in order to uh, keep his story together in the face of one of the gangsters, has to do a very vicious, degrading, insulting thing in front of his wife, who he has to pretend is not his wife at all, but is his secretary. Now, a long time ago, I went to a meeting when we were trying. There was a movement. It started in Oregon where they got a citizens initiative to ban gay marriage or something, ban gay folk at all. I can't remember. And then after that success, they brought it to Washington State. So I went down to the Unitarian Church where a whole bunch of gay folks were talking about how are we going to fight this citizens initiative to make life miserable for gay folk. And the argument became that the headquarters of the resistance movement is in Seattle, King County, that has by far the most number of voters who would resist this initiative. And we're sitting over in Benton County that has a hell of a lot of voters that are going to be in favor of this initiative to make life miserable for gay folk. So the argument breaks out in the meeting room that we've got to send the money that we raise in Benton County, send it over to King County where it's going to make a big difference. And everybody in Benton County is saying, well, hell no, that's our money and we're going to spend it here to try and affect the vote here. And I stood up and I said, the basic problem is that to fight an enemy, you must become like that enemy. And in this case, we have to have a war chief, and we have to all then subjugate our personal perspectives on how to fight the war and subordinate it to the war chief who's over in King County. And the gay folks said, no, hell no. Part of what it means to be gay is to be very independent, to be autonomous. And no, we're not going to. Well, now see, that's why the Confederacy lost the Civil War, is that they were fighting a centralized federal government in favor of a confederacy which is not centralized. And so they didn't pay the troops, they didn't raise the money, they just generally could not fight a war as, 8, 9, 10 independent nations, all as a confederate nation, trying to fight a unified federal nation. Can't be done. You got to become the enemy to fight it. So to get back to the movie, in order for us to fight the drug war we've been fighting, which is don't let our little Johnny get a hold of drugs. We got to stop the drugs coming in. It is such a tragedy that all these drugs are coming in. Nobody gives a shit about all the money going out where the real tragedy is occurring. In order to fight the drug problem that we're fighting, and it's the wrong problem, we have to become like them. And so we do vile, vicious, disgusting, mendacious things to fight a vile, vicious, mendacious enemy. So let's stop that. Stop becoming the enemy that we are fighting and just give the shit away for free.